All right, my beloved. So we got spiritual download, spiritual mental power, right? So this is what's going on. So what I was talking about, a future paradigm we're moving toward a parallel reality where we get access to what ancient societies had access to become successful with, right? A move away from the harsh administrative militaristic rulership style to a more jovial, a more abundant, more opulent ideology, like going backward and forward at the same time. And if you look at a lot of these societies, we have elements of the past and future, whether it's in art or reflected in the development of individual advancements in technology, right? Applications of wisdom above what was there before, or what we believe was there before. Cosmically, we believe there's probably some zeros missing in between some of these history narratives, or at least a zero in between some of the stages from ancient Babylon into now. There's some zeros missing. But be that as it may, we believe the new transition is toward, believe it or not, I think Ronald Reagan might have been right, that we're going to move toward a humanity, an entire world, where the polarity is moved toward a cohesive society where we are looking to uplift our fellow people because our problem is so great, it takes humanity to band together in order to furnish the things that we need to be successful in surviving the next thing. And the next thing is great space weather, right? Terrible downpour. The stars are basically going to take a shit on us, right? Because of this place not being so right. And we're going to go backward in some way, shape, or form to a format where we trusted in our actual powers, and our powers did the things for us. There was great technology that was lost way back when because we were in accord and in favor with the actual powers that, listen, those aren't dead planets. There's no dead things. This is a cosmological universe where spiritual mind energy is that thing that gets access to gross particulate reality, right? Gross particulate matter, right? It is a flashing image of what these powers allow to move forward. And it takes all of them in agreement for it to work. In ancient times, they said the powers warred in the heavens. They did. They dropped hot space rocks on this place. The guys were mad at this place. Constantly at war and odds with man. There was a way to get into favor with the gods. Humanity figured that out. The Templar process was a good process. And we could see it in ancient societies, which referenced the zodiac, like ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon. Although we don't have the Hebrew that we had in ancient Babylon and all the stuff that was... The only thing we really got access to is maybe Zoe or Zoe, the ancient king of Babylon you get access to. And you don't get always access. It's a temporal process. I'm just aware of it through intuitive, right? You get not everything all at once, right? You get access to stuff through a favor process, starting the favor train with recognizing that the powers that rule isn't God. God is actually down here. It's the government. Because the things that flow from God are all the things that are in that government under God in America, right? It's really a polytheistic sorcery society predicated on fake dogma because they have to bear the cross or whatever. And the cross narrative, guys, it's such a weird thing. I was asking Saturn about that, and he said, I'm making them bear their cross. Because what they did, they did something. It's not exactly the narrative that they push, but I'm giving them authority as a society and a culture because of that, as long as they bear that effigy and show that, they kind of did something wrong, right? But they're aware of it, and they want to move forward, right? And the Saturnian way is to give you all the things you ought not do, right? And, believe it or not, there's some, in that, whatever your local government's judging on, Saturn's looking at. It dwells in the interactions and the dispositions, right? I can't hit that enough. And what's coming next, right, is a paradigm where every human has to look at humanity a little differently because the success of humanity is not going to be based on people trying to take advantage of each people. You're too worried about hot space rocks and the lack of food and other things. It's going to be different. People are just going to realize the only way to push this problem back is to band together. And the places that band together are going to be the ones that are successful. That's what I really think. This hot World War III is going to get broken by some kind of cosmic thing, is what I think. Because they're all expecting they're going to war it out and divide irradiated land somehow. That doesn't make sense. That's got to be put to a stop. We can't have that as the paradigm, y'all. So, and the powers don't want that as the paradigm. I believe a lot of that technology is going to be destroyed and never ever brought back again. We're going to go a different direction because technology ran away from the people so fast. In ancient times, technology ran with the people more. It wasn't killing people off en masse. It was these Saturnian societies where the Victorian era, everybody's doing stuff and they were all dying from it. Chemicals would leach into your body, you'll die from lead poisoning over time, right? And it was basic household items and stuff. You don't really want that again. We want to come away from. We want an abundant society where it is a societal end everywhere you look, right? The end of food, the end of agriculture, the end of things that aren't wrapped in fortified plastic petroleum products. You know, like, we absolutely can move away from that. And I believe what's going to happen, we're not going to be able to produce stuff the way we used to because something's going to drastically impact this place. So that's just my thoughts, what cosmically is coming in. We do believe there is some paradigm shift associated with your mind raising up into the cosmic region and concerning the values that the ancients did. People would not want to go on like a Mars line and do something ceremonially good for another of something that had Venus traits or something that needed Jupiter traits. You know, whether it was a ceremony or a business dining. Ideologically, attached to astrology, astral cartography, right? And what's the other thing? Astronomy, astral cartography, and astral necromancy, right? Because you actually want to consider all those things. Because our power comes from above, right? And we do have like a sky father mother. They're like androgynous, right? They have male and female aspects. The main vibration, color, and wavelength comes from them, right? Well, we can access the mental energy, right? So, just want to touch on that. It's a weird paradigm shift, I believe. And I was always wondering why, what's up with everybody gets access to their own friggin' deity thing or whatever, I guess is what it is. You get something from it because in its dogma, it does give reference enough to certain things to get value, right? We got to go Greek on these motherfuckers. We got to go planetarian. We got to go celestarian. We got to go Jupiterian on these motherfuckers. Ball Jupiter. Jupiter is ball. Ball is Jupiter. Ball is resplendent. Ball is inclusive. Ball is in high authority under Saturn. Saturn's basically going to hand us over to ball Jupiter, and that ideology is going to rule. It's going to come away from the militaristic, cut-off society where things end everywhere, right? We want a cohesive, fundamentally sound, sane society that could include everyone and not be so delineated across cultural lines, because we're one amorphous blob humanity according to the creator of the mind power that works here. So just some thoughts on that. Later, beloved.